Hello and welcome back to Your Heart's Path. My name is Faye. Grab yourself a cuppa or a drink. You don't necessarily need to watch the screen in order to receive the intuitive and psychic messages for today. You might just want to pop your device to the side and close your eyes. And I want you to receive these messages and insight as something that is purely here just for you. So whilst we do read for a collective, that piece that we are all a part of, there can be some really unique pieces that land for you. Those bits that don't, please just let them wash you by. If you do happen to find this reading at a different point in time and you are out the other side of June and July, please know that these messages can still be relevant to you. Spirit do work in pretty beautiful and miraculous ways. So we're going to get stuck straight into it today. And we are partway through June. Got to confirm that. Is it June? It is. We're partway through June and it's raw, but it's quite beautiful right now. I kind of feel like there's a little bit of clumsy kind of energy. There's a bravery and a courage that has an attitude of like, well, I really don't have anything to lose. We're actioning this in a way that doesn't feel destructive. It actually feels like it's really growing from a sense of curiosity because of this need or want from the heart and the soul to experience life in its fullness. So for some of you, this has required a lot of selflessness because I believe that you've taken action for the greater good. It might be that you have left it in a work environment where you were really appreciated and you held a level of responsibility that was like the glue for the team, and now you're no longer there. So, you know, you're kind of in the ramifications of like your phone might still be ringing and kind of feeling like the old residue because they're like, oh, what do I do with this? Or where do we keep this? Or how did you manage this? And so I sort of feel like whilst we've kind of got two like feet in both worlds, this might not actually be happening physically yet. It's like you are designing it internally, even though you are taking the actions. It's like there is a creation of the vision that is happening regardless. So if this kind of new, fresh experience that is taking place in your life isn't in momentum yet physically, it's coming. And I think by September, this is going to be in like full fruition, this like brand new beginning. This is the energy that I sense that we have been working with. There's lots of death. And now we've got this like birth. But just like the baby, when it's in the mother's tummy, it takes a certain amount of months to really kind of bring to life. And to fully cook the chook, so to speak, before out the other side and you know, really in this new life. So whilst there have been varying stages of this, I do sort of sense that we are in that period where you're either birthed this new experience or you are in the process of creating that internal manifestation or that vision, or you know what it is that you want to create. You have been gifted the invitation of what it is to create, and this brave, courageous, like I've got nothing to lose energy, we are simmering in collectively. I love this when it comes to expression. I love this when it comes to that like letting go of vanity, the things that perhaps used to be a distraction for you because they needed to look a certain way in order to be able to execute it perfectly. I feel like if you're you know, in marketing or in social media, you're running your business in that way, there can be a really like a fresh kind of sense coming through of a deeper authenticity, because I'm kind of sensing that there's just like a repulsion of that which has kind of kept us stuck on these surface pieces. So what was limiting no longer is a closed door. It's actually an open one, and it says, hey, it's time to come through. So this can be like a beautiful reminder that if you're having these experiences that feel very up and very down, that there can be this kind of purging that's taking place with new momentum that lands through. And a lot of that they're sort of showing me here are these energies of fear and some of these shame and some of it not good enoughness. It's these kind of energies that feel very private, very internal, that do offer these points of reflection and self-realization to kind of go, you know what, not anymore. I'm not holding this in my body, in my being. Physically, that can be a really intense thing to actually shift through your system. And again, it can feel like a really intense experience. So whilst the like horizon, you know, the sun is it's actually setting. I was going to say it's rising. Whilst the sun is in this position where there is still light coming into your life from your future vision, there are moments where it feels like the waves kind of come crashing over, and what they want to say is like, don't worry, it's kind of like tumble with it, flow with it. The less resistance to divine intervention right now, the better, because I do see you kind of like washing up exactly where it is that you need to be. And you know what that space looks like. And I sense that there is this beautiful capacity at the moment to really hold your vision and work toward it regardless of what's going on in the environment. So I really love this time for manifestation. I really love this time for self-realization. I love this for invention. I kind of feel like some of you may have or will be receiving like a new business plan, or a way to go on a beautiful holiday, or a lifestyle that is like calling you. And I really feel like this is not these images, these visions that are taking place right now, whilst they are coming from the divine that we are all connected to, that we are a part of, they sort of feel really personal. Spirit are just sort of saying, hold your vision with respect, hold your vision with tenderness and care, and I almost want to say like gratitude too. It's important that we don't let our visions be influenced too greatly by the outer world, sure, with your inner circle, but please know that the vision in its purity, or like just like when the baby is born into the world, we're very mindful of who we let touch, hold, nurture, and into that space, because there is a fragility or a sensitivity out the other side of this piece that needs, even though there's a lot of excitement, energy, life force energy, right? We still need to be moving with like a gentleness and a pace that is in consideration of the physical body more so than anything here. My feeling is, and I've experienced this too, I'm like, how can I support my nerves more readily? Because there has just been such a lot of anxious energy moving through the system. These lower frequencies, as I said, of like shame and unsurety, and even so this like energy of like these fear kind of bound experiences. To move that through the system takes a lot. To purge, it takes a lot. And we purge in order to make room for the birth. So please just like, there is some emphasis around the physical body here. I know we've moved through Taurus season and it can feel like, oh yeah, kind of that's in check. I think that this is a really beautiful reminder to actually check in with the physical body and just have a look at how you potentially can nurture yourself a little bit more readily here. We are looking at the nerves in the nervous system, but I do sort of feel that this is a really beautiful time to be addressing aches and pains in the body, dry skin, things that you might like look over in like the lighter seasons, but as things start to get, or here anyway in Australia, we're going into winter, so it's those sort of beneath the surface pieces that feel cold and achy. We are looking at those. Even if you are in summer, you are over the other side of the world, I do sense that it is a really important time to address the physical body in this regard, and making sure that you have enough of that grounding energy and that you don't feel like you're floating too high. There's a lot of insight and information buzzing around the collective. I'm just kind of watching this spin and move around fasting. I feel like this is something, there's going to be some new insight and information around this. Please be mindful with following different fads depending on who you are, man, woman. I really feel like this is in time for equal intuitive and equal knowledge. Like, how can knowledge and your knowledge and your intuition work together to support your physical body? As I said, I kind of feel like whilst even though there has been a lot of information coming in from the divine, this has been such a beautiful time to learn new skills, to learn new tools, to bring your vision to life. And this is where they're really amplifying the physical body, because I sense for some of you that you might have even been like swirling around this vision for such a long time, but you are, but in order for this vision to like really come to life, it's almost like we're forgetting to address the baseline pieces. So the first, the second, the third chakra, before we kind of entering into these big, grand, magical spaces, is like the physical health is a really important part. And holding a vision and entertaining a vision and acting on the inspiration that comes from a vision is a really powerful and beautiful thing, and you will do it so beautifully, but the physical body has to come with. And so if the physical body is still sick, or it's tired, or it's stressed, or it can't function, then this would be the invitation. And I'm going to say the priority, even whilst you chip away at your vision piece here, because that can be like the final straw for some of you. It's that the way that you've been taking care of yourself, or the toxicity that comes within your body, is actually the piece that upsets your mind and makes you feel depressed or anxious, and then you can't action the steps that the universe is bringing in to help you kind of bring this vision to life. These aren't necessarily visions that have to be really big and huge either. We have worked with these qualities of simplicity, and in visiting the same vision and really nurturing what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what it is your soul feels like it's calling you towards. We are working with this element of trust over the next few months as well. Trusting what it is that is here for you, trusting your knowing, trusting your trusting the flow. And we will see snippets of the absolute divinity when it comes to like the way that your heart, your spirit, your soul, you know, the cosmos, the earth, how life itself, consciousness weaves together so perfectly the fabric of your reality, with equal challenge and opportunity to experience the bliss that exists. And I don't want you getting caught up in those moments where you feel like you might have a tumble, or you feel like you might have a fall. Again, just trust. I trust where it is that I'm going to land. Then we're not feeding it more fear and getting stuck down there. We stay connected to the heart. We allow for the being to kind of surface as ready. So don't forget who you are. I remember who I am. I remember who I am. I remember who I am. I've been hearing in the back of my own awareness, wake up, for like ages. And I'm like, I actually really love this. It feels so gentle. It's these moments of like grabbing myself when I feel like I'm unconscious, and becoming really conscious in each moment as it passes. And I feel like that can be something that is potentially helpful for you here too. And when we're looking at vision and life, they just want to bring this in here. This can be like, having started a new relationship. This is not always just job and work and all these other, I kind of have to put things into categories so that you can look at them from that observer's perspective. And so use this information as metaphor. This can be happening in multiple areas of your life. So once you've attended your physical body and you're fueling yourself in a way that is right for you, mindful of the fasting. I'm just going to say that again because we didn't quite finish that thread. For some of you, I feel like your bodies need more fuel as you are required to take some action right now. And sometimes it's not the anxiety or the, like the energetic interference or whatever we might sort of think it is. It can be that your body just needs more food. It can be that your body just needs more water. It can be that your body just needs some, nice herbal teas. So actually check in with your body. Ask what it needs. This would be a period of time where diets and things can change quite drastically because you are in need of other qualities that your previous diet was not providing you. So this would be a really cool time to visit like markets and beautiful organic whole food stores, and to do research into, different ways that you can include really rich and nutrient dense foods, teas, tonics into your life. If you're feeling really good and well and enthused in this area, that's wonderful, it's great. Probably just more those surface layers of the skin, lymphatic system, like it's just, let's get things flowing and moving so as that this really sort of warm energy can move through the system, and we will find that really beautiful flow. It can feel a bit like the mad, like, I didn't even know what I would call that, like the Mad Hatter or the Mad Creator at the moment. Lots of divine inspiration. So great time for, all your basic journaling and these sorts of pieces. But I really do feel like there's a severity or a seriousness to some of the pieces that are dropping in that this is like really beautiful and profound wisdom. For some of you, it can be like books landing, or, they're showing me a lot of like textiles and fabrics, and I sort of feel like none of this is a waste of time. And I think we've seen where we've been wasting our time. We have seen really clearly where boundaries needed to be applied, where things that no longer resonate, even if it's painful, we've had to let go. And most of you, if you weren't able to do that, like with consent, I kind of feel like the universe has come in and stripped it out anyway. So celebrate this period of time. If you find yourself feeling lonely in your life, that can happen at a period where you've finished a chapter, where you're no longer who you were before you started that experience, and this new venture that you tread into can sort of feel, even though it comes with deeper levels of intimacy, when I'm having a look through like romantic relationships and your close friendship circles and even family members, those who know you really well, it can feel really beautiful, nourishing and intimate. And we'll come back to that. It does sort of feel like there's this sense of loneliness, and a desire to be witnessed. I actually saw this in the week with a client, and there was pain and grief because of the just wanting to be seen in the depths of who they were and who they are. And so I guess I want to, some of the insight that came in for this person in particular that I feel like is really useful across the board, and Spirit are kind of just showing me that memory now, is to ask for Mother Nature, ask for the trees, ask for the animals, ask for the birds to be your witness, ask for the elements to be your witness in your experience. If you are processing still or purging still, when you're in that tumble mode, it's like, hold me, really witness me in this experience. It can help you to feel really held. It can help you to stay really present. And it can be very healing and nourishing. If you do have the opportunity to be in spaces where, group spaces especially, I just feel like there's this such warm, yummy energy around groups. Some of you that are doing one-on work even drifting into this space of group work, but I kind of feel as a whole over the next little piece that there these groups, or like family dinners, and like this yummy base kind of, it's easy to be around these people. Let's share food together. Let's play board games. Let's connect and listen to each other and help heal each other. Small little yummy, nourishing groups, please. If you have that opportunity, take it. If you have the opportunity to create it, make it. It feels really, really healing for the collective in this regard as well. But I kind of feel like I'm just walking through like almost like a doorway of like mirrors and stuff. Vanity has been a really big thing. I feel like we've been distracted by some of these outer layers, and for a lot of you, it's like the mirrors started to crack and you've seen like the real truth. And this is the kind of one of the last threads that I really want to have a look at, and it's this word that I've heard myself, so this is nice to bring clarity here. I've been saying this word capacity for the last couple of months, just like this capacity to feel, this capacity to perceive truth, this capacity to love, this capacity to surrender. Our capacity has been stretched and expanded, and that's not always a comfortable thing. Yet because we sometimes still see the universe as an external thing versus an internal thing, we can still be trying to fix or mold or create life from this external place, expecting permanent results on the inside. And I feel like with the cracking of this, it's like the illusion of like, whoa, I was still doing that pattern or that cycle, or I was still letting that stop me from showing up, or I was still letting that be the thing that prevented me from experiencing the depth in that connection. It's like there's a shattering that has taken place. For some of you, it can cause little wounds and cuts that need time to heal, so go gently here. But what I love about this is this capacity now. You're going to find that there is more room in your ability to connect with your inner sensitivity, to speak your truth, to create passion in your life. And I love this. I love this. There's not too much contraction here. If there's not too much, you're going to be taken to a new edge in some way, shape, or form within your life. Intend to stay within your integrity. This is really important. Matching the inside with the outside. Some of you need to get some things off your chest, so it's a really beautiful opportunity to do that. If it feels like you're not in, like there isn't a safe space to do that, it can be that you just ask your higher self to witness you in that, or you write it down and pass on a letter, or voice note it and delete it. There are other ways of getting information or being seen or being witnessed, or this like that we sort of spoke of back here, that can be very fulfilling, very freeing, and allow for this kind of expansion with the capacity piece to become your new reality. I sort of feel this really beautiful essence as well. I feel excited about it because there's, these kind of universal law is something that I think is worth considering, and affirmations that stem from universal law. If you look at the universal law, let's look at it like a tree. Everything looks like trees to me at the moment. Don't ask me why. It's a story for another day. But all of these lovely affirmations that come from that, like we are one, or you are love, or you are divinity, or, these kind of I am the light, these affirmations, if they feel like bullshit in your system, I think that that's a really beautiful line for inquiry. I love this as a really beautiful stepping stone into sound and music. It's a beautiful time for new sounds. It's a beautiful time for new music. This can be your own vocal toning. There's like energy in the heart space there. But it can also just be really beautiful and supportive if you're a singer. Sing, write new music. It's like, can you see how these themes all sort of weave together to start to create a really beautiful picture? New music, also like wanting new information, right? So it is such a great time for courses, short courses, reading new books, new information on diets. Like it's really, really sensational actually. And music is a really beautiful portal as it does affect our overall frequency and can support us with this new expression. If you're used to listening to rap music, maybe you try country. If you're used to listening to country, maybe you chuck some binaural beats on. Movement, I'm always here to encourage movement. And then I think that there are periods where stillness and actually just focusing on feeling versus being distracted by the vision and not being like totally taken away into the future right now and just being present, this ability to feel and be silent and to listen or to witness is a very highly encouraged practice right now. So I think that's a lovely piece of awareness, especially in July, they're sort of saying here. The mirrors are funny because I'm watching this kind of crash and fall. I'm looking down at the floor. I feel like mirror theory needs to be applied to some relationships here as well in order to take responsibility. Responsibility is a really beautiful piece because not everybody is going to agree with the direction that you take your life in currently. You need to be really strong and determined and committed to the way that life unfolds for you. This can be informing those around you about particular changes that you're about to make in your life and that you would like their respect. A nice example of that would be like stopping smoking, which was something that happened for me, 8 months ago. And I informed a certain amount of people because I needed their support with it. And that was really helpful because it allowed for me to say, if I'm having moments like this and this is probably what I need. If you're willing to support me and help me there, that would be wonderful, please. Or if you are to be having a baby and you want to be left alone by the community for the first 10 days, let them know, please. But then also let them know what it is that you need. People like to be of service. We like to be able to help each other and support each other. And it's this informing piece versus the assumption that everyone should know what it is that they need or how they stand within your relationships or friendships that can cause sort of an underlying confusion. We're not here to build resentment right now. We're just kind of trying on the weird, wacky and beautiful ways of I want to say like self-expression, and what your heart wants is your truth. And so it's more about kind of removing the blockages that kind of come more from a mental plane or a fear of feeling ashamed or disappointing someone that may actually prevent you from really stepping into your truth. So as I said right from the beginning, beautiful time for self-realization and actualization by like listening to the emotions and the mind and what's the chitter chatter going on there, but also really working to create an element of stillness so as that the physical body can recover and repair. We are still in motion and in movement, but there is accuracy and precision with these pieces, that it's done at a pace that is kind of gentle. So we want to be realistic with the time schedule of the integration of this beautiful vision and this dream that you're working with. I think new modalities is a really beautiful space to explore. If you're really inspired to have a look at the tarot at the moment, which is a really strange thing. It's always just been something that's like absolutely no way. But I'm noticing this in other people when I'm reading for them too, like threads from the past or like images, pictures, experiences, memories, dreams from the past surfacing now and having relevance. This can kind of help the the back body feel a little bit more organized. And even on a physical level, like if you've been having problems with your back, you might have answers now. I'm moving right down to like the hips, and the lower spine can be a really beautiful time for this almost like kundalini awakening. So this energy rising within the body and the being called to a higher reality. We don't always like the truth, and I think that that's something that we have acknowledged here. Just because it is true doesn't mean that it is comfortable for you. So how can you become more comfortable with who you are and what it is that you're here to do? There's no rush, so please slow down with this. I have to look at this like stretching of fascia and tissue. I know we spoke about expansion, and I'm doing a little loop back here in order to catch myself where I am so I can just finish off with the last theme. But there's this feeling of, with the aches and pains within the body and the being, I kind of want to look at lengthening. What we do in one area of the body and the being is obviously going to show up in other. So if you've been expanding your capacity to feel, it might be that you want to expand your capacity to open. So yoga is sort of really being emphasized. If you have a studio, if that's part of what it is that you do, like scream it from the top of the building. There's going to be people that like this is brand new to coming into that sort of a space. Body work, anyone doing like body work with fascia, this like strengthening and lengthening is really supported right now. And can you see how all of a sudden, like if I decided to, I'm seeing my like body like lengthening, like holding on to like a monkey bar and just feeling everything kind of like drop into the right space. It's not this complete non-action, like we're working with gravity. Some interesting pieces around gravity there. I've kind of had this little, I feel like there's some stuff going to come out around gravity, in, you know, where science meets spirituality. I really love this model. And I really do feel that at the point where these two pieces meet, there we're in for a beautiful ride when it comes to new information kind of coming into that peak spot there, where those that are really fixed in sort of science and want a lot of the physical evidence are going to start to lean more into this space, and those that have been really super floaty and not really connected to the physical are going to start to move into this place. So we just have a little bit more harmony there, which I believe kind of complements both aspects, and can really help the collective consciousness or the collective move to a different plane of existence. And this does highlight some aspects I've spoken about on my Instagram around like taking responsibility for our own inner conflict, and really looking at our own inner work as something that is, to prioritize those aspects because of the ripple effect that we all have on each other's lives. These two cards are stuck together. So yeah, truth and authenticity. I like that's just what those two cards say. Nothing too much jumping out of the pictures and the images. Soul retrieval is that card. Is there anything that we want to bring through there, please? They're just whispering the great arrival. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but do you want to elaborate? So it just feels like aspects of you. I feel like it's sort of almost a thread from the memory piece, and kind of really coming back into the fullness of your being, and experiencing wholeness right here, right now, with all those different aspects and all those different threads. If you're feeling like you've listened to this and you're like, oh, this is what I've really been wanting. I've been wanting to move forward, but I feel really stuck. I've been entertaining an image or a vision, and I'm just not sure if it's right for me. Sometimes it can just be one little point of clarity or confirmation that can come through in a one-on-one reading, which I do have open and available at the moment. So please come and see me. I can support you with your vision space. I don't work as a psychic fortune teller. I help to have a look at your energy, your contracts, what's going on with your soul, what's your destiny, and how can I assist you to create the vision and remove the blocks and address the blind spots, so as that you can really sit in the creator seat of your life. It doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. I emphasize this, but I can support you with different tools and techniques to be able to move through the challenges that we all do experience, by taking a look at it from the soul's perspective and really looking at what it is here to teach you, so as that you can move into those places of expansion. If this has all felt like almost like a as I said, something that is too far away from you or not a part of your experience, any of this right now, but you kind of feel like you want it to be, I do feel like that there is an inquiry here to get some assistance. A beautiful time for healing, energy healing, soul retrieval work, body work, you know, nurturing yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally to really support yourself spiritually. If there is anything else that I can do for you, please let me know. As I said, I've been quiet on here. There is some room for a little bit more, what would I say? We could catch up on here a little bit more frequently. I have been bringing through the House of Mystics, which is their homeschool for the intuitively sensitive. And the first sort of 6 weeks, I'm really just been getting to know the women in that space and holding space for them. So I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable and fluid with all of that now. And so, yeah, if you want to reach out to me outside of this space, you can find me on Instagram. If you have any special requests or questions that you might like to ask that you feel could be valuable for this beautiful, small and wonderful community here at Your Heart's Path, pop the questions below. I can always, set 10-15 minutes aside and make you a little video to pop over on the intuitive development side of this channel. Keep up your practice always. There's some meditations on my channel as well. You're more than welcome to go and visit. Relaxation is always going to support integration. Keep your feet on the ground and stay connected to your hearts. And I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.